Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to get started on cake number 3 from our Easter cakes, and this is actually the mini Easter egg cake. So I hope you guys enjoy this recipe. We are actually going to start with 1 egg, just like we did with the last ones. Just gonna go ahead and crack a full egg into the bowl, and then we're going to start adding all of our powdered products. So now I'm going to go ahead and grab my Dutch chocolate Formula 1. I know we used it in the Reese's, but we're also going to use it in this mini egg recipe. So you're actually going to put 2 scoops of the Dutch chocolate Formula 1. There's only 1 flavor with this recipe. And then we are going to grab our vanilla protein. Yes, you can use chocolate protein for this. I do like to use the vanilla protein because it gives it a sweeter taste to it. The chocolate protein is a little bit more bitter, but if you add the vanilla protein, it gives it a sweeter taste. And then we are going to go ahead and add in our next item, which is going to be baking powder. And I'm gonna grab my half a teaspoon measuring spoon and put 1 scoop of that right on top. And then I'm going to grab my Hershey's Cocoa, and this is the brand I use. Whatever one you use is fine, but I use the Hershey's, and I'm going to use a full tablespoon. So just grab my full tablespoon measuring spoon and put that right in there. I've been using these instead of the Herbalife measuring spoons just to help you guys out a little more if you don't have the Herbalife measuring spoon. So now I'm going to go ahead and grab my water and the tablespoons, and just going to put 4 full tablespoons of water right in there with all of the products, and then we're going to start mixing that together. You do want it to be a little thicker batter. You don't want it to be like a liquid batter. So I do suggest only putting the 4 and then mixing it in. If you want to use a mixer, you can. I just like to use these rubber spatulas just because it keeps the mess down and it's just easier for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix it, and I just want to take a second to thank everyone for liking, commenting, subscribing, and turning on notifications. Thank all of you for your continued support, and thank you, special thank you to everyone who has purchased my recipe book. All of my YouTube recipes will be in that book, as well as a lot of recipes that didn't make it to YouTube. There's so many recipes out there, I cannot get all of them onto YouTube. So I do have the recipe book available with many more recipes. Now I have my mini cake pan here that I ordered off Amazon. I do have an Amazon storefront link in the description to this video, as well as the information if you want to purchase a recipe book. Now you already can see the carrot cake on there and the Reese's Easter egg cake on there, and now I am going to go ahead and add in our mini eggs cake batter, and we're just going to stuff this right in there just like we did with the other ones, and we're going to smooth the bottom of the batter out. That way it will be able to sit flat once it's done baking. So we're just gonna go ahead and smooth those around. As you saw, I did also spray it with your cooking spray oil, so make sure you spray it or they will stick. So you have to, with this one, you have to make sure you spray the little thing that comes up in the middle so that it doesn't rip your cake when you're trying to take it out after baking. So I'm just gonna go ahead and swoop it around like that so it's a nice little flat slate, and then we are going to bake it in the oven at 350, and you only have to actually leave it in there for 15 minutes. It doesn't even take long for them to cook. So while that is baking, I'm going to go ahead and show you how I'm going to make the stuffed protein frosting. I'm going to get my chocolate pudding sugar-free mix. Yes, Herbalife does sell the different kind of mixes. This is actually just the Jello brand in the store. It's the blue box, and it's the sugar-free chocolate Jello pudding mix. I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of that. And then I'm going to grab my Herbalife vanilla protein, again, because it makes it sweeter. Yes, you can use chocolate if you prefer, but I just like to use the vanilla because it does make it sweeter. And this is the frosting, so you do want it to be a little sweet without the guilt. So you're going to use 1 full scoop of the vanilla protein, and you're going to put that right on top. And then of course our Hershey's cocoa. Again, if you use a different cocoa, go ahead and use it. This is just the one that I use, and I'm going to put my product right in there, and I'm only using a half a teaspoon of that this time. And then we are going to get our tablespoon so that we can add our water. And as you guys saw, I've been doing it on the other videos like a little bit at a time, just to show you the different textures. So this is me just putting 3 tablespoons of water, and I'm going to start mixing it, and you can see how thick it is. You can use that thick like frosting if that's the way you guys like to frost your donuts and cakes, but I actually kind of just prefer it to be just a little bit more liquidy. So I'm going to add 1 more tablespoon of water. See how it's like a frosting in there? I'm just going to go ahead and add 1 more tablespoon of water so that it's a little bit more spreadable, I guess you can say. But yeah, so that's 4 tablespoons of water in there with the product. And of course, with my rubber spatula, I'm just going to go ahead and mix that all up. And again, all this is typed out in my recipe book. If you do want to purchase it, it is in the description to this video. And this is the outcome when you use 4 tablespoons of water. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my cake, and this is what they look like. And this is what the bottom of it looks like, which is why you have to kind of, you know, like spread it flat, because if you don't spread it flat, it's going to be lumpy and they won't sit right. So now that I have them nice and baked, I'm going to grab my frosting that you just saw me make, and I'm going to stuff the hole right down the middle. And that way, when you cut the cake in half, it is stuffed and it's just delicious. So now we're going to stuff both of the cakes, and then we're going to frost the tops to make them look cute. And then I'll show you how I incorporate the mini eggs without going overboard on the topping. Of course, you can leave it like this if you have very strict weight loss goals, but if you want to treat yourself for Easter, or treat your clients or customers or your family with a nice healthier choice of a dessert, these are perfect, and the little bit of toppings won't hurt if it's just for a treat. Again, if you want to stick strong to your goals to the holidays, you can leave the toppings out. But this is how I turned it into a nice little treat for friends and family, especially the little kiddos. They absolutely loved it. So if you buy a bag of the mini eggs, they're the little chocolates with the very hard candied shell. My kids absolutely love these. They'll run through a bag if they see it, so I just have to hide it. But I'm going to just take out 4 little eggs, 2 for each cake, obviously. But I'm just going to take out 4 little eggs, and I'm going to grab a little Ziploc bag. And I'm going to put the 4 eggs in the Ziploc bag and get my garlic crusher that I use from my liftoff to crush my liftoff. And I'm just going to crush the eggs just like I do a little liftoff. And once they're a bit crushed up, I'm just going to sprinkle them right on top of the cake so that it has that nice little crunch from the candied shell, as well as the little pieces of chocolate at the same time. So that is the only thing you're going to add to the top, unless you want to be fancy and put a little bit of chocolate sugar-free syrup. But I didn't do that this time. I just went ahead and sprinkled half of the mini eggs on each cake. So 2 of these cakes equal 1 full meal. 1 cake equals a snack. So you can have it as a meal or have it as a snack, or again, just have it as a nice Easter treat on Easter. So I hope you guys enjoy this recipe. Thank you so much for liking, commenting, subscribing, and remember, share me with your Herbalife family. See you on the next video.